There's nothing I can think to say that isn't creepy. It's so creepy.
So on the surface, we're going to do a lot of things that look similar to people who are not Christians. I guess it's the motive and intent behind it.
And today, my guest is a big one. You might already know Elvin from his Instagram, from his YouTube. I think my favourite thing you do is when you're just walking around and you're like,
oh, this is my wife.
This is my wife.
Hey guys, I'm just on Oxford Street chilling with my wife. This is my wife. This is my wife. How's it going, babe?
But I do also really rate the tube setup with the formal, because I think it's the commitment that I like about that. Like, you haven't just rocked up. That's a trestle table, that's a tablecloth.
I don't know, in my head, a lot of these props are all part of, you know, trying to create a scene and make people laugh and make the girl laugh, essentially. But yeah, it is effort, and I guess that's what a lot of girls are crying out for. A man who, you know, shows some effort, you know?
That's true. That is true. Yeah. I do think you get a different response if you, like, weren't so well presented, though. Because I think it could be menacing.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And even doing This Is My Wife, when I turn up in a hoodie, I think girls are a bit more... I did one recently where I was dressed in a tuxedo and I got a lot more pleasant responses.
Like,
so I think...
me?
Yeah, appearances do matter.
It matters, especially when it's like a stranger, like just... So one of the things that we really wanted to talk about on this series was sliding into people's DMs.
Yeah. Carpe DM sees the bay, yeah.
That's it. So I've seen on your Instagram that you did a like comedy DM slide for J-Lo, right? Yeah. Have you done a DM slide in real life, like actually wanting the response?
Yeah, I've still done some girls. You can't not, like, all those pretty pictures you see on Instagram, you can't not message someone. I mean, I've messaged some girls. Success rate hasn't been massively great. I use a trick where I like to actually comment on one of my posts and get them to go and have a look at the post so that they can maybe see what I'm about first. So I'll at them on a post that I've done, get them to look at that and then message them.
That is next level confidence.
Yeah, no, but what I do is, like, for example, on a train that I'll at the go, I'll be like, train date and question mark. And then sometimes they reply. Like, I've had a lot more success doing that. Even some girls have followed me off the back of that. So I use that as a techers. Because you have to stand out from the crowd. And I'm all about, I'm giving away free game now, but...
That is so good.
But I'm a guy who likes to think outside the box. So.
But that's so public.
It's kind of tongue in cheek because I'm not. The train date is a series, so someone could just think he just wants another girl for his video. Meanwhile, I'm actually fancy the girl, and you know. So what I do is I follow them as well, like, and then it's almost like a 3-pronged strategy. I will probably at them on the post, follow them as well, and then I'll wait a bit, see if they reply, maybe for a few hours. If I don't see anything, then what I'll do is either reply to their story or DM them. I usually reply to their story.
So you double down. If they don't reply when you at them, you go again. You're like,
obviously,
let's just check.
Obviously, if they respond to the at,
yeah.
Then that's a good sign, usually. Some of them, they will laugh and then that's it, it just dies out. But some of them will laugh and then follow you, and you can start a conversation off the back of that and be like, hey, so I actually want to take you out for real. We can carry on from there. A lot of people actually use the story approach, because sending a DM can come off quite thirsty. Someone actually asked me that today, how should I like a girl, how should I go about messaging? I just thought, I'm getting so many questions about DMs. I'm not even a DM master or nothing, but I said, you know, I think a lot of people use the replying to a story because then it comes across less thirsty. You're kind of talking about something they've posted, you know, or you can completely go off topic, whatever. But yeah, it's just like, you're replying to a story. And they're more likely to get that notification as well, I think, because if people turn on their notifications, they see that. But if you send a DM, it might go into their filtered if you don't follow each other and they don't see. So you got to learn, you got to know all these things, you know. So you can't be walking in the dark. You got to know where you're shooting.
You said sometimes you just look at the message and you know that person's thirsty. What kind of messages are we talking? Like, how do you not DM someone? What sort of thing is it like, I'm just never going to reply to that?
Sometimes you can just tell, this girl is just being too forward, man. Like, she's just, like, I don't mind a girl showing initiative. I think, particularly in Christian circles, we've got this whole thing about men need to pursue. And I think people equate pursuing with starting a conversation, which is ludicrous. I think a woman can start a conversation without pursuing. I think pursuing gets more clear when you get to, like, engagement and marriage. That's when the man's role as the leader takes more, it becomes more clear that the guy should take certain roles. But when it comes to dating and asking people out, there's not even any Bible verses on girlfriends and boyfriends, you know? So this is a modern concept.
Yeah.
How you go about finding your bae is up to you. I think just do it, you know, just be godly about it, I guess, you know? But so yeah, it just depends on how they go about the message. And if it's like, oh, I'll take you out on a date, come and take me out now, I'm just like, relax. I was even saying to someone today on my story, your approach to a girl, in one sense, doesn't even matter. If she finds you physically attractive already, there's something about you that she likes already, you can say a lot of rubbish and it won't matter, because when we like someone or we're attracted to someone, like we make excuses for them.
That's the thing. If you're attracted, people can do no wrong.
Yeah, you can do no wrong in your eyes. Obviously, there are some things that you can say to some extent are objectively creepy. I think we can say that. Like, there's certain things that are like, hey, relax. But saying hi, two guys can say hi, and you know, if one of them is attractive to the girl and one isn't, they're gonna get two completely different responses. So I do think creepiness to some extent is largely predicated on whether the girl finds you attractive or not.
If you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We've got plenty more on the Salt YouTube channel for you. So, in preparation for this, I thought, right, I'm going to slide into someone's DMs. And then I'll just report back. I'll just let you know how I got on, okay?
Yeah.
I did film myself doing it. So, let's have a look.
Right, so I'm fully ready for bed. I've brushed my teeth, I've taken my makeup off, and I thought, well, this is the hour for DM slides, right? It's like 10 o'clock. This is the time. So I've chosen Mo Gilligan because he's funny, and I just watched his Netflix thing, and he kind of grew up in London around where I did. And there's literally nothing, there's nothing I can think to say that isn't creepy. It's so creepy. So this is what, I've Googled it. And this is what I've come up with. He just did a Q&A on his Instagram stories. And I can see that because he's got lots of like answers to questions up, but he doesn't still have like the box where I can type in a question because that's already gone. So I thought, slide into the DMs and go, oh, it's so creepy. Hey Mo, so sorry I missed your Q&A yesterday because I've got a question for you. Is that genius or is that weird? I'm gonna send it. On Google it was like, bring up a common interest. I don't know what his interests are. He is one of the detectives on The Masked Singer / Dancer. But if I talk about masks, he'll think it's some sort of kinky. That's not cool. It's actually really hard to do this.
So that doesn't really count as a DM in one sense, because you didn't get through. It's like calling and getting a voicemail. Yeah, you know, so you need to actually speak to him. You need to actually, speak to someone, and then,
should I DM him by his agent? Is that what you're
or
saying?
at least message someone who doesn't have a block on their account.
Do you think you have to match someone on followers when you're DMing them?
Status matters. Let me put it this way: on Instagram and social media, status and looks are probably the top things for how successful your DM replies are going to be, or how successful you'll be in sliding. Looks and status. You need to have one or both for you to be able to get a look in, I think. So if you don't have status, you have to be incredibly hot. If you're not incredibly hot, then
what I'm hearing here is I don't have enough followers and I'm not incredibly hot.
No, game is the game. So if I don't earn a certain amount of money, or I don't look a certain way, I'm not going to be in certain circles. You know what I'm saying? It's just facts. I think that happens on Instagram, probably even more so, because Instagram is even more superficial, and we're just going off pictures and, you know, and videos. So yeah, I would say, yeah, stick to your kind of circle. Every now and again, you could, you know, go for a long ranger, you know, shoot half court and see if it goes in. But, you know, stick to like the 2-pointers and stay close to the net. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going for those wild, spectacular shots, the likelihood of you scoring is a lot lower. That's just reality. Even for someone like me, I knew JLo was never going to reply, but I was just having fun with it. So, you know, she's got 100 million, you know, and she's an A-lister. Like, she's not going to respond to me, you know?
The other thing I was thinking then, if this is an arena where you are purely assessing someone on looks and status and influence and all of that stuff, as Christians, should we even be in this arena? That's not how we measure people. That's not how we give people value in their life.
That's true.
So given that it's so superficial, do you actually think like maybe just DMs aren't for Christians?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. We're in the world, obviously, we're not meant to be of it, but we're in the world, and, you know, the same way we have to spend money like everybody else. We have to eat at restaurants, buy clothes, and, you know. So on the surface, we're going to do a lot of things that look similar to people who are not Christians. I guess it's the motive and intent behind it, because God is more concerned about, I guess, our hearts than our mere actions. So I think DMs in themselves, there's nothing wrong with sending a DM. There's nothing like morally questionable about sending a DM. I think it's just how you go about sending the DM, who you're trying to message, you know, what you want from them. It's better to meet people in person. You just get a better vibe, get a better understanding of them. You can use dating apps as well. I mean, I guess it's the age we live in. We live in a technological, online-based sort of age. So you have to use what's available to you.
Final thing. What if I give you my phone and you slide into someone's DMs for me?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a go. It depends who it is.
Okay, this guy's got 1.1 million followers.
Yeah, John Christ, yeah.
But
He's a Christian guy.
don't screw me over because this could be my husband.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? It's not funny. This is real.
Think you're super fun.
No, don't write super. What would you want to see in your DM?
I mean, do you want to just be straight? Like, I'll be working, think you're cute, innit? I don't know, would love to come to one of your shows, you know?
Backstage. I don't just want to be in the audience. If I'm like
Would love to come to one of your shows and hang out.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All
Who's
right.
gonna read it is another question.
Oh, you sent it before I could check. Okay. No, that's good.
You can always
That's good.
unsend. Thank God for the unsend button. On Instagram.
Can you actually unsend?
You can. You just hold on
Oh,
to
I'm
it
not
and
gonna do that.
and you can- Yeah.
It's out there now. It's out there. If this is it for me, would you like to come to the wedding?
Yeah, I mean, I'll come. I paid my part, isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Exactly.